In November 1978, deep within the jungles of Guyana, South America, lay an eerie settlement, completely cut off from the outside world. Its name was Jonestown. It was a dark paradise built by humanity, or perhaps a microcosm of a horrifying prison. While proclaimed as a utopia, this isolated land would soon become the stage for an unprecedented tragedy in history. Countless people arrived there, guided by the sweet words of a charismatic leader harboring hopes. They must have dreamed of a new life. However, what they couldn't have known was that this paradise was destined to become their eternal prison, an unavoidable fate. This is the memory of a place where the darkness of the human heart condensed. Its eerie shadow still gazes at us silently, deep within the jungle. November 18, 1978. This date is deeply etched in history as one of its most horrifying events. What happened in Jonestown, Guyana on that day? The official record chillingly states 909 members of the American People's Temple met a collective death. Among them were 304 helpless children. Simultaneously, a shocking incident occurred. California Congressman Leo Ryan, who was visiting, along with accompanying journalists and defectors, was murdered at a nearby airstrip. It was as if peace shattered in an instant, obscuring paradise. This was no simple tragedy. It was the terrifying beginning of an incident demonstrating how easily human reason and dignity can be trampled. However, there were far too many bizarre aspects to the circumstances of these deaths. Did hundreds of people simultaneously take their own lives? Especially, why did helpless young children have to meet such a fate? Crime scene investigations found almost no signs of struggle. Instead, an eerie silence pervaded the entire settlement, as if everyone had compliantly followed some command. It was a terrifying sight, as if time itself had stopped. This was absolutely not a simple mass suicide. This silence eloquently speaks of the deep involvement of malevolent intent and irresistible force beyond human comprehension. Behind it lay an unimaginable malice. Initially, this event was reported worldwide as a shocking news story of mass suicide. Major media outlets emphasized its abnormality and incomprehensible aspects as the insane acts of a cult, plunging people into fear. However, as time passed, many question marks were raised about this official narrative. Did so many people truly choose death of their own clear free will? In particular, shocking testimonies emerged one after another, stating that many members were surrounded by armed guards and forcibly compelled to ingest the poison. The public was not being told the whole truth of this tragedy, especially its coercive aspects. At the heart of this unimaginable tragedy was Jim Jones, the absolute leader of the cult known as the People's Temple. He once gathered followers as a charismatic pastor advocating for social justice, claiming to offer hope to the poor and minorities. However, his true nature had transformed into that of a ruthless dictator obsessed with paranoia and immense power. He completely controlled his followers, both physically and mentally, eroding their minds deep within the isolated jungle, cut off from the outside world. His overwhelming influence reportedly extended to holding power over their very lives and deaths, even dictating their choice to die. One of the most chilling pieces of evidence recovered from the scene eloquently tells this terrifying truth. It was a gigantic vat that had contained sweet flavor aid mixed with large amounts of cyanide and powerful sedatives. The followers, surrounded by armed guards and with no escape, were forcibly or psychologically coerced to drink this lethal poison. The very existence of this Kool-Aid is the crucial evidence that completely overturns the official narrative of a mere voluntary mass suicide, proving this event was a planned mass murder. They were stripped of hope, pushed to the brink of despair, and forced to obey a ruthless command. The U.S. government and relevant authorities had detected unsettling activities within the People's Temple and Jonestown quite some time before the tragedy.
Numerous appeals from defectors and reports of abuse and violence had been received repeatedly. However, delays in organized oversight, a lack of awareness regarding the severity of the problem, and the cult's cunning cover-up tactics prevented decisive intervention to avert this tragedy. California Congressman Leo Ryan's visit was precisely part of that fact-finding investigation, but it was already too late, and his death tragically triggered this horrific outcome. That failure poses a heavy question to history.
One of the most chilling aspects of this incident is the existence of an audio tape recovered from the scene, famously known as the death tape. It recorded Jim Jones's inflammatory speech just before the followers ingested the poison and the raw circumstances of the group heading towards death, as if one were present at that very moment. His words inflamed the fear lurking deep within the followers' hearts, accelerating the collective madness. It still resonates today as terrifying evidence of the power of words that lead to death and how easily and completely the human mind can be manipulated. The Jonestown tragedy remains a warning, deeply etched in the shadows of history, still speaking to us today. The dangers of group psychology, the absolute control of charismatic leaders, and how easily human free will and dignity can be taken away. This event is not merely a past incident, it highlights the persistent shadow of cults lurking in modern society and the potential dangers they bring. While the Jonestown tragedy ended, its lessons have by no means ended. We must always remain vigilant and alert to the unseen dangers that creep into the human mind, lurking in the darkness.